Welcome to Vuln Vibes. Today, we're diving into something pretty critical, CVE 2025-46762.
Yeah, this one's in Apache Parquet Java.
Yeah.
Specifically, it's about the parquet-avro module.
Right, and our sources are pointing towards a potential for remote code execution. That definitely gets your attention.
It does, especially considering how widely Parquet is used. In data lakes, analytics, think Spark, Hive, Flink. It's foundational for many systems.
Absolutely. So the issue is how it handles Avro schemas embedded in Parquet file metadata.
Exactly. It's a deserialization vulnerability at its core.
Okay, let's break that down a bit. The sources mentioned it's tied to specific Avro models, like specific or reflect.
Correct. Those are the ones you need to worry about here. The generic Avro model isn't affected by this particular flaw.
So if an application uses Parquet-Avro with those specific or reflective models, what happens? How does the RCE risk come into play?
Well, the vulnerability allows the system potentially to deserialize Java objects based on the Avro schema provided in the Parquet metadata.
Ah, okay. So if someone crafts a malicious Avro schema.
Precisely. They could potentially trick the application into deserializing and executing code from certain Java packages that are soon to be trusted.
Trusted packages. But they can still be leveraged. That sounds tricky.
It is. It's like assuming an internal tool is safe just because it's internal, but then finding out it can be manipulated.
Right. And I saw there was a mitigation attempt in version 1.15.1, but it wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, they tried to restrict untrusted packages, which was a step. But the problem was the default list of trusted packages was still too broad, leaving the door open potentially.
Okay, so it's not like every Parquet user is immediately vulnerable. What are the specific conditions needed for exploitation for you listening? What should you be checking?
Good question. First, your application needs to be using the Parquet-Avro module, obviously.
Makes sense.
Second, it has to be using either that specific or the reflective Avro model for deserialization. And third, crucially, it must be processing Parquet files that come from untrusted sources or maybe user uploads, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. So if you control all the Parquet files being ingested, your risk is lower?
Much lower, yes. It really hinges on processing potentially malicious, externally sourced Parquet files with these specific Avro settings.
So definitely not exploitable by default, but for those specific scenarios, it's quite serious, given Parquet's role, like you said.
Absolutely. The impact could be significant in their right or wrong circumstances.
So what's the fix? What's the recommended action?
Thankfully, it's pretty straightforward. Upgrade to Apache Parquet Java version 1.15.2.
1.15.2. And what changed there?
They hardened the default settings. Essentially, they've tightened up that list of default trusted packages to prevent loading code from ones that could be dangerous in this context.
Okay, so upgrade to 1.15.2 seems essential for anyone using Parquet-Avro with specific or reflect models and external data.
Definitely the primary mitigation, yes. It directly addresses the known attack vector.
It really underlines how important metadata security is, doesn't it? It's not just the raw data we need to worry about.
Exactly. The structure, the schemas, how that information about the data is processed, it's all part of the attack surface.
So a final thought for you out there. This specific Parquet issue is a good prompt. How are you handling metadata security across all your data processing tools? Are you implicitly trusting metadata schemas more than you should?
It's a really important point. Think about provenance, validation, defense in depth applies to metadata too.
Well said. Okay, that's our deep dive for today on Vuln Vibes. Get those Parquet instances checked and updated if necessary.
Stay vigilant.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.